What would you say if I told you that men who knit is the new yoga? That was the title of an article in the UK Telegraph that inspired me to write my thesis on men who knit. I consider myself one of those really lucky grad students because I got to combine two of my loves, knitting and masculinity studies. And with my research, I wanted to show that social changes were causing definitions of masculinity to move from what we tend to see in the media as these more stereotypical forms, like having lots of money, power, being stoic, and pursuing sexual conquests, into something else, something a little different. I couldn't put my finger on it at first, but then I had the chance to interview 15 amazing men who shared with me what masculinity means to them. Now, not all the men I interviewed were lifelong knitters. Some decided to learn because their girlfriends knit, others had lost their jobs and needed something to do. Whatever the reason, all the men I interviewed said that knitting changed their life in one way or another. Dave, one of my respondents, told me about his experience of going to a men's knitting retreat and being one of the only straight guys in a room of 40 men. Dave told me that that experience changed his perspective on homosexuality. At the retreat, the conversation turned from knitting to which celebrity guy was the hottest. And when Ryan Gosling's name came up, Dave chimed in saying, "Oh yeah, I'd turn for him." What Dave demonstrated was that he was not only comfortable with his own heterosexuality, but that he didn't feel that his performance of masculinity needed to be tied to the idea that he was straight. Now he celebrates with his new friends every time a state changes their laws on gay marriage, and he was even able to be accepting and open when his own daughter came out as transgender. James, another man I interviewed, told me that when his daughter was getting married, he wanted to be part of the celebration in a different way than dads tend to be. So he picked up his yarn and his needles, and he knit her a blue shawl that she could wear on her wedding day as her something blue. Like I said before, I'm incredibly fortunate because I combined two of my loves, knitting and masculinity. And in the process, I had the privilege to witness some amazing stories from what I consider to be remarkable men who are redefining masculinity and even fatherhood for themselves. In turn, my thesis is arguing that it's time that our research places men's experiences at the center of how we form academic knowledge on masculinity. I found that men are renegotiating their masculinity every day, and that it doesn't have to look like what the media says it should look like. And that's why, in my opinion, knitting really does take balls. Thank you.